For today's grim adventure, we once again find ourselves in Los Angeles, California, where on March 5th, 1982, legendary John Belushi died of a drug overdose at Chateau Marmont. Now, this year marks the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live, and in preparation for this, Hollywood built this ginormous, gigantic, block-long display for SNL. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. Does this technically make me a host on SNL? Probably the closest I'll ever get.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.
When it comes to making videos on YouTube, I really don't like dating them. I like making them feel like they're timeless, like you can watch them at any time. With that being said, at the time of recording this, it is February 17th, which is the day after the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special. We watched it, hopefully you guys did. If not, you can check it out on YouTube. And my favorite part of it all was actually Adam Sandler's song. There were so many celebrities in the audience. Jack Nicholson was there. It was really cool to see him introduce Adam Sandler. But whenever Adam Sandler was singing, it just kind of like hit me in the feels. If you haven't watched the anniversary special, you really need to. It was really cool seeing all these celebrities, like past hosts, coming out and celebrating. It was a pretty star-studded event. Now, 50 years. I don't remember what year it was, but I remember watching Saturday Night Live whenever I was a kid. I think Eddie Murphy was on it. Or maybe it was like an Eddie Murphy comedy special afterwards. But I remember sitting on the floor of my uncle's living room, his like basement living room, watching SNL for the first time, and I was completely enthralled. I promise we're gonna head over to where John Belushi died in just a moment. I just really wanted to take a moment and show you guys this. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know that we take inspiration for the videos that we do. A lot of inspiration from different artwork or installations that pop up around Hollywood or anywhere else that we see, like this. And we saw this one whenever we were doing the video for Jane Mansfield and the Pink Palace Gate. And we're like, you know what? Maybe it's time that we do that video on the legendary John Belushi. So here we are. So if you didn't know this, and I'd be surprised if you didn't, John Belushi was one of the original cast members from SNL.
Hi, I'm John Belushi. Just having a cup of coffee before the show. It's kind of a tradition with me. Here at Saturday Night Live, we have another tradition that the show is always open with the words, "Live from New York, it's..." Well, you know the rest.
Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, Gilda Radner, Jane Curtin. There's so many freaking awesome people. And then 50 years later, we have so many more characters. They're all so funny. Here we are back to where we first started this video. I'm gonna back up a little bit. It's almost impossible to get this all in one fell swoop. But we're gonna try. So John Belushi, one of the original members of SNL, went on to do Blues Brothers, Animal House, one of my personal favorite movies he did with Dan Aykroyd, a movie called Neighbors. And man, he was just a crazy guy. In the words of Steve Martin, a wild and crazy guy. Oh, that was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. Seriously, look at this. It just keeps going and going and going and going. The only bad thing about things like this, it's only up for a short amount of time. And look right over here, it's our buddy Chris Kattan. When it comes to SNL, Kate McKinnon and this character right here has to be one of my all-time favorites. The things that comes out of her mouth as she describes being abducted by aliens. Now, What would you say if we had a special guest, that Kate McKinnon herself was going to join us here? I'm kidding. I wish she was. All right, let's go over to where John Belushi died.
Les sorcières sortent le soir, les fantômes aussi. Le ciel est tout noir, les nuages sont gris. Est-ce que tu as peur des méchants esprits?
If you plan on coming to Hollywood for a little gold tour of your very own, and one of your stops, and hopefully not your final stop, is that of the Chateau Marmont, there's a few things you should probably know about this place. The first one being, they really love their secrets. Now don't get me wrong, if we can take the camera inside the Chateau Marmont, the stories we would tell. But there's no getting in here with a camera to take pictures, let alone do a video, unless you are staying here, and even then they're pretty strict. I know some of you are watching this video and you're saying to yourself, wait a second, I have seen video inside this place. You're right, people have taken a camera inside there without permission, and every single one of them have been told to stop recording and turn around and leave. So we're not even going to attempt it. The truth of the matter is this: if you come to the Chateau Marmont in search of anything when it comes to John Belushi, you're going to be sadly mistaken. There's really nothing that can be seen here. In fact, not too long after John Belushi died, after he overdosed in bungalow number 3, management went in there and they completely revamped the room because they didn't want to be connected or to have people come here for a gold tour, if you will. And they just didn't want to be connected to that, so they changed everything. But bungalow number 3 is still here. That's what we're going to show. Also, if you do come here with pictures, you can kind of transport yourself all the way back to March 5th, 1982, the day John Belushi died.
Authorities tonight in Los Angeles are saying that John Belushi apparently died of natural causes. The 33-year-old actor-comedian was found dead this afternoon by personnel of the Hollywood hotel where he was staying. Some speculate that he may have had a heart attack, but police are still investigating. Bob Surratt has more.
John Belushi's body was found shortly after noon today in bed at his rented Hollywood Hills hotel bungalow. He was in Los Angeles working on a movie at the time of his death. According to the Beverly Hills Fire Department, they were called to the Chateau Marmont, where Belushi was reported unconscious and choking. Concern arose when Belushi didn't answer his phone this morning. 2 people went to his room and then tried to resuscitate him.
Good evening, I'm Marty McNeely for WGN News. Comic actor John Belushi died today at a rented hotel bungalow in the Hollywood Hills. Authorities say that cause of death is believed to have been a heart attack. Fire department medics said they were called to the hotel where they found Belushi unconscious and choking. Belushi, who was raised in the west suburban Wheaton area, rose to national fame on Saturday Night Live. Television series said that he was an actor along with Dan Aykroyd. They introduced their Blues Brothers routine on that show, which was the basis for a feature film made in Chicago. Again, apparent cause was a heart attack. We'll have more details on the 9 o'clock news.
When it comes to the death of John Belushi here at the Chateau Marmont, there's a lot of information, and it gets kind of dizzying. But basically what happened was Belushi was here in LA, staying at the Chateau Marmont, and he was supposed to meet up with some bigwigs about a movie that he really didn't want to make. He was staying in the Chateau, one of the rooms. He actually changed rooms a couple different times because of noise complaints. And eventually he ended up renting out a bungalow number 3, behind the building, which is what we're walking up to right now. If you're at all familiar with the life of Belushi, then you know that basically he was a party animal. The man liked to drink. This point in his life, 1982, especially here in LA, he was spending roughly $2,500 on drugs. Cocaine, heroin, booze, you name it. Now, I'm sure somebody's gonna watch this and they're gonna be able to figure out the inflation, but in 1982, $2,500 in drugs alone. He was staying here in bungalow number 3. I'm going to show it to you guys in just a moment. And people who have seen the room when he was staying there said that it was beyond trashed. Like, beyond trashed. Right now, I'm basically standing with my back to bungalow number 3 where John Belushi died. And again, there's really nothing that we can match up that looks the way that it did whenever he was here in 1982. But using photos, we can kind of transport ourselves back a little bit. But this is looking back down at Chateau Marmont. And there's something I wanted to show you guys real quickly, and it's at the end of this wall to the left. And basically, it might be the only thing that really hasn't changed, and that's the parking spot for bungalow number 3, where Belushi would have been parking his car. Now you can still stay here, it's rather expensive. I looked this morning just for like a random day and I saw that it was like $1,500 for one night. But again, $1,500 to actually stay in the structure. Nothing looks the same. Before we start lining up old photos, I want to go over here and show the gate. There is a picture that people have shared online where it's Belushi standing out front of a door that has like a circular top to it. That is not this door. It's actually the door to the bungalow itself. And I don't even know if that's still the same. But you can see number 4 on the left, and number 3 on the right. A little hole here. You can kind of look through it. Can't really see much. There are some videos online where people have taken a drone up in the air. We don't do things like that. But there is a shot that was taken from across the street here. There's a lot of reporters. I'm going to talk about all that in just a moment. But there's also houses up here. So I'm guessing that maybe one of the reporters climbed the steps and got a shot looking over this wall before this privacy fence was here. But again, number 3. The first photo I want to show you is this one right here, and it's the aerial shot where it looks like a reporter was standing on the porch or the steps of somebody across the street looking down. You can see the wall has changed a little bit, but that lamppost is still there. If we zoom in on that photo, you can clearly see a number 2 on that wall. But trust me, it is not bungalow number 2, it's still number 3. It's actually part of an address if you look closer. 8274, I do believe. Now here's the crazy thing about this. The day John Belushi died, there are so many paths that crossed. At one point, Robert De Niro walked through this gate, went inside there, had some words, maybe partaked of some substances. Robin Williams walked through there, did the same exact thing. And everybody wanted a party with John Belushi. Again, he was the party man, but he really wasn't doing too well, and he ended up wanting to just kind of stay back. Well, the next morning, March 5th, 1982, I think it was his personal trainer and his agent, but somebody close to Belushi came to check on him because he wasn't answering his phone. They thought maybe he was trying to get out of these meetings of this movie he didn't want to be a part of. They made it inside there and they found him laying on the bed. The room was in complete disarray. He was wrapped up in the blankets and there was a pillow over his head. Now it sounds more sinister, but you sleep and what have you not. And I remember reading that whenever, I think it was his personal trainer who found the body, he took the pillow off his head and the first thing he noticed was Belushi's tongue swollen and outside of his mouth. And that he was dead for quite some time, that you can see the blood pooling on the side of his body. Crazy, right? Now, again, this place is known for its secrets. They want to keep their secrets, and they really didn't want to disturb their guests. So they kept it under wraps for so long. But eventually the word got out, and then the street that I'm on right now, wait till you see the pictures. There were so many press photographers and videographers and people here for looksy-loos, whatever you want to call them, looky-loos, ghoul tourists, trying to get a shot, trying to see Belushi. If we come down to street level to right about here, there's a photo that was taken of them removing Belushi's body. He's on a gurney and he's wrapped up in a sheet. But you can see the lamppost, you can see that roof of that building right there, as well as the chateau off in the distance. See what I mean about being transported back in time? In another photo that was taken pretty much in the same exact spot, you can see the coroner van parked on this road. You can see the building as well as the chateau in the background as well, which puts the van parked right about here. I'd be walking right in front of it. Man, it's wild. Again, there's the entrance to bungalow number 3. And with this being a one-way street, the coroner van would have been parked right over here in the center, facing the way that we're facing right now. Which brings us to our next photo, which is of this staircase right up here. And it looks like there's a lot more hedge, a lot more greenery. But you can still see this today. It's the same wall. That had to have been where they were taking that aerial shot. I always ask for permission, and a couple weeks ago I reached out to the people, the management here at Chateau Marmont, asking if we can at least get on property to showcase anything, and they were very adamant about they still want to keep their secrets. And this place is right off of Sunset Boulevard, but it's hidden just enough that even with all of its history, I mean Led Zeppelin, and it's a crazy, crazy iconic, legendary place here in Hollywood. And to be able to see it this close, 10 minutes from where we live, if that, depending on traffic, it could be like 2 hours. It's pretty wild. Now, of course, again, didn't go into all the details. You can read all that stuff, but this is the actual locations, and this is what it looks like now. And again, if you come out here to Hollywood for a little ghoul tour of your own, there's really not much you can see, except for what I just showed you. But it's still worth it because it's beautiful. And if you want to, $1,500 a night, you can spend the night in bungalow number 3. Or if you really want to, you can go ahead and gift us a night and we'll take the camera in there and show you exactly what it is. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? With that being said, thank you for joining us on another grim adventure. Do not do drugs. Don't do drugs, folks. Till next time, happy Halloween.
Wherever I come, bad luck just comes my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always